October 2024, Sandhurst, Johannesburg. A quiet, sunny afternoon in one of South Africa's wealthiest neighborhoods. President Cyril Ramaphosa, according to his own account, decides to take a walk. Somewhere along the private streets and manicured gardens, he says he bumped into a man who would soon become the center of intense media attention. Hangwani Maumela. Maumela, a businessman with a growing profile in government tenders, has been named in multiple investigations involving Gauteng hospitals, including Tembisa Hospital. According to media reports, he is linked to contracts worth over 381 million rand. The president describes this meeting as incidental, a coincidence, a chance encounter. But for the public and the media, this story immediately raises questions. How could a man involved in such significant contracts live so close to the president? Was it really just a walk, or does this moment hint at a wider network of political and business connections? Today, we explore the relationship between Cyril Ramaphosa and Hangwani Maumela, the controversies surrounding it, and the broader implications for South Africa. Hangwani Maumela, sometimes referred to in media reports as Ramaphosa's nephew, is a businessman whose companies have secured significant state tenders. To be precise, public records and investigative reporting show that Maumela's businesses received hundreds of millions of rands from Gauteng health facilities, with a particularly large focus on Tembisa Hospital. Maumela's background is complex. Media outlets often highlight his connections to politically influential families. The presidency has clarified that while Maumela is a relative of Ramaphosa's former wife, he is not the president's nephew. Regardless of the exact familial link, Maumela's name has become associated with the pattern of politically connected individuals benefiting from state contracts. He lives in Sandhurst, a suburb known for its security, wealth, and exclusivity. This setting immediately captured public attention. When a man connected to tens of millions in hospital contracts is living in the same neighborhood as the president, the optics are striking. It is this proximity that sets the stage for public skepticism and media scrutiny. The Tembisa hospital scandal has been a focal point for anti-corruption investigations in Gauteng. Babita-deokaran, a whistleblower, previously highlighted irregular payments totaling over 1 billion rands in various Gauteng hospitals. Maumela's businesses were linked to contracts valued at over 381 million rand, largely for hospital supplies such as gloves, stationery, and other essential goods. Investigative reports suggest that some of these contracts were inflated significantly, raising questions about transparency and accountability. While the exact mechanics of the contracts are still being scrutinized by the Special Investigating Unit, SIU, Maumela's involvement has cemented his public image as part of what journalists describe as a network of politically connected tenderpreneurs. It is important to note that legally, Maumela has not been charged in connection with these contracts. However, the media attention and SIU interest have made him a household name, and his association with Ramaphosa, however indirect, has amplified public curiosity. Following media reports, President Ramaphosa addressed the allegations, clarifying the nature of his relationship with Maumela. He stated that Maumela is a relative of his former wife and that he had no personal business dealings with him. Ramaphosa also confirmed that their meeting in Sandhurst was incidental. Despite these statements, public perception has been less forgiving. Social media quickly highlighted the optics of a multi-million rand contractor living near the president. Memes circulated mocking the idea of just a casual walk, leading to a chance encounter with a key figure in the tender network. Political analysts note that in South Africa, perception often matters as much as fact. The president's careful wording, emphasizing non-involvement, contrasts sharply with the public's skepticism. The question remains, can a leader maintain credibility when family connections, however indirect, are tied to controversial contracts. Why does the media call Maumela Ramaphosa's nephew? While the presidency has rejected this label, the term has taken hold in public discourse. Analysts suggest that referring to Maumela as a nephew simplifies a complex network, making it easier for the public to connect dots in a narrative about corruption and privilege. The nephew narrative also illustrates how political families are scrutinized. In South Africa, even distant family links can carry significant public weight. Maumela's connection through Ramaphosa's ex-wife, while legally and technically distant, fuels stories about political patronage and influence. This segment of the story is less about law and more about optics. It highlights how political narratives are shaped not only by facts, but also by how those facts are interpreted and amplified in media and public opinion. The Tembisa hospital scandal is not an abstract issue. Hospitals in South Africa struggle with shortages, delayed supplies, and overworked staff. When contracts worth hundreds of millions are allegedly inflated or mismanaged, the impact is felt directly by patients. Babita-deokaran's reports highlighted the human cost of these tender irregularities. The public anger is compounded by the image of wealthy contractors, like Maumela, living comfortably in exclusive neighborhoods like Sandhurst, while ordinary South Africans wait for essential medical supplies. It is this contrast, the human suffering versus the lifestyle of politically connected business figures, that drives public outrage and interest in the Ramaphosa-Maumela connection. By October 2025, the Democratic Alliance, DA, formally called for the SIU to expand its investigation to include Maumela and his network. The party emphasized the need to fully understand how contracts worth hundreds of millions were awarded and whether political connections played a role. The presidency maintains that Ramaphosa has not influenced any tender and that family members have not benefited from state contracts. However, opposition pressure, combined with continued media scrutiny, ensures that this story remains in the public eye. Legal experts caution that investigations are ongoing, and while no charges have been laid against Maumela directly in this context, the SIU's findings could have broader implications for how politically connected contracts are monitored in South Africa. The story of Cyril Ramaphosa and Hangwani Maumela raises fundamental questions about perception, influence, and accountability in South Africa. Was the meeting in Sandhurst truly a coincidence, as the president claims? Or does it form part of a wider network of politically connected individuals benefiting from state contracts? The facts are clear. Maumela's companies have received substantial contracts. The meeting occurred, and the public perception has been shaped by both media, reporting, and social media discussion. Yet, legally, the president is not implicated, and Maumela has not been charged. Ultimately, this story is about questions more than conclusions. It is about transparency, accountability, and the fine line between familial association and political influence. South Africans continue to watch, analyze, and debate as the investigation unfolds and as new facts come to light. Only time will tell whether this is a simple coincidence or a reflection of a deeper pattern in South Africa's political economy.